Okay, so guys, welcome to a new video. Today we are going to learn LCM HCF and then we are going to solve some problems on LCM and HCF. We are also going to understand and learn the concept of it. So generally I have seen that kids, they mug up the approach to the problem solving and stuff like that. So therefore the whole idea is to build the concept so that they understand it. Now before we move ahead, it is important to remember what we learned in the last video. Last video was interestingly built around factors, multiples, prime numbers, composite numbers, concept of co-prime numbers, rules of divisibility and the problems around it. And then we also talked about this, amazing one of my favorite numbers, which is Ramanujan's number. So we talked about, if you want to know and learn about all of this, you will have to go back to my previous video and have a look at that. Today I'm going to keep it very simple. Today I'm going to just talk about HCF, which is also known as GCD. In Hindi, I think this is known as Mahattam Samap Vartak, and so GCD is greatest common divisor, same name for HCF. I mean, you can choose to go with whatever you feel like. And then LCM, lowest common multiple. So fairly simple. I think the name sort of gives it away. So let's start with HCF. Basically, what is HCF is it's also called greatest common divisor, and then there are two methods to find HCF. One is via prime factorization and the other method is sequential division. Okay, so this is something that my father taught me when I was a kid, and I was just going through the book that NCERT has written. So in that book I did not find this method, but I remember when I was small, then in books also this method used to be there. So maybe in some other books it will be there, but anyway I will share it. So let's start with the first method, which is given in the books, etc. Let's say we have to find HCF of two numbers first of all. Okay, let's say one number is 6 and say the other number is 15. Okay, so what we will do is that we will do prime factorization of each of these numbers. So 6 then we are writing as 2 into 3, that is the prime factorization. 15 we are writing as try to just put the prime numbers under each other so that it becomes easy. 3 into 5, something like that. So which is what is common, just underline that, 3. So your HCF here is going to be 3. So this is done, very simple. Now you will say that this is very easy. Can we do it where there are more number of common prime factors? Okay, let's do that also. So let's find out two numbers where, okay, the first number let's say is 12 and the second number let's say is 28. Yeah, so 2 is 6. So we are again using the prime factorization method. 12 we are able to write as 2 into 2 into 3. Now let's go with 28. It's 14, 2 and 7. So 28 we are going to write as 2 into 2 into 7. So see, this is common, this is common. So then HCF or GCD is equal to 2 into 2, whatever is common. So we will take 1 and 2. And isn't it fairly simple? Because you will have to multiply these prime factors, right? This is a common prime factor here. This is a common prime factor here. So we take it out and write it here. Then again, this is a common prime factor here. This is a common prime. And then if we multiply, basically there is a factor. So basically it says that highest common factor, right? So beyond this, there are no factors which are going to be common across both 12 and 28, right? But below this there, yes. So below this, like this is 4, but below this, 2 is also a common factor. And therefore, 2 will not be the HCF because we are trying to figure out highest common factor. Like, which is that biggest number, understand, that completely divides both the numbers. इसको ऐसे सोचना है कि, or you have to say that if I had to take a big divisor, like what was the highest divisor that I could have used to like divide both the numbers with. Simple as that. Or if you have to divide something, then you know what is the highest number. So if I have to understand, let's say there is a sack of rice, okay, and one sack is 10 kilo and the other sack is, let's say, 15 kilo. So, and I have a container from which I can take out rice. Then HCF will tell me basically that what will be the largest weight of a container using which I could, measure out or take out rice completely from both the sacks of 10 kilo and 15 kilo. So I will find the HCF, and HCF in this case will be 5. So if I have a 5 kg container, using that, if I empty the 10 kilo bag, I will take 2 turns, and using that, if I try and empty the 15 kilo bag, I will take 3 turns. But after that, if there is a larger container using which if I have to empty the bags, both of them completely in like exact number of turns, then it will not be possible. So that's the meaning of this. Now this is done. Okay, yeah. Now let's learn the other method of how we do it. uh, so it's fairly simple. Let's say there are two numbers, okay, 3, 8. Okay, if I take this, then it will come as 1. So let's take some other number. Let's say there is a number 6 and then there is a number 14, and if I have to find the HCF or GCD for this, so what I will do, I will take the smaller number and I will divide the larger number. Okay, so what do I get? 6 2s are 12, and then I get 2 as remainder. Now using 2 as remainder, what I will do, I will keep 2 here, okay, and with this I will divide this. So 2 3s are 6. It completely cuts out. So whatever is the last divisor that I get here, that will be the GCD. That's it. So what is this method? Fairly simple, that I am going to go consecutive division, okay, until the time I get a remainder as 0, and then whatever is the last divisor, that will be the GCD or the HCF. Very simple. Okay, now let's say if I had to do it for more than 2 numbers, if I had to do it for 3 numbers, तो कैसे करेंगे? So let's take 3 numbers. Let's take 8, let's take 12, and let's take 24. So once again, see, ideally you should start with the smallest number, but you can also start with the second smallest number, okay, and then obviously you will have to divide the larger number. So if I, let's say, start with 8, yeah, then I will divide 12 first, or I will divide 24. Either of them is okay. So let's start with 8 and 12. Okay, 4. So what is my last divisor? 4. Now what I will do, using 4, then I will start dividing 24, and I will follow the same. But what do we see? We see here that using 4, when I divide, the remainder is 0, and therefore 4 is the HCF. Simple. So you can practice, and this is a method which is not usually found. It is simpler actually. It's called successive division method. So I was just surprised to not see it. Actually, when I was small, then it was there in the book. Okay, so let's move on. Yeah. This is important. So now that we have understood how to find out HCF, what I am asking is, what is going to be the HCF of 2 consecutive numbers? 2 consecutive numbers means 2 and 3, and we've already discussed it in the previous session. Okay, So if we take any two consecutive numbers, they are co-prime, which means their common factor is going to be only 1. Therefore, in this case, the HCF is going to be 1. Okay, if we talk about two consecutive numbers. Simple. When we are talking of two consecutive even numbers, okay, if we are talking about two consecutive even numbers, so let's say 2 and 4, 4 and 6, right? 6 and 8, 8 and 10. See, understand that whenever we are talking about two consecutive even numbers, one common, only we will get one common factor, which is 2, right? So the HCF is going to be 2, and you can just check it. Then we are talking about two odd numbers, consecutive odd numbers. I think they are always co-prime, two consecutive odd numbers. Yeah. So as you can see, it's majorly, it's basically co-prime numbers. So what you will get? You will basically get HCF as 1. Co-prime numbers, we have said this and this, it comes under co-prime. So for co-prime numbers, the HCF is 1. In fact, the definition of co-prime numbers is that if the HCF is 1, then the numbers are co-prime. If the highest common factor is 1, then the number is co-prime. Numbers are co-prime. Now let's go to LCM. Yes, and I only know one method basically in this one. There is another method of prime factorization which is given in the book, but I don't like it. I just like the simpler method. Basically it's prime factorization only, but we use, like, we will factorize all the numbers simultaneously. So let's pick up three numbers: 6, 12, 15. Okay, and what we will do is that we will start to prime factorize it using the smallest prime number that we know, which can factorize or which can divide all the three. So we will obviously start with 2, but 2 can't divide 15 because it is odd. The next number is 3, and we see that 3 can divide all the three numbers. So we will start with 3, and we get 2, and we get 6. Sorry, this is my bad. Okay. Yeah, so we get 2, and we get 4, and we get 5. Now we have to see is that is there a prime number which can at least divide 2 of them. Okay. So in the end we are basically looking to only be left with either prime numbers or with 1. Here, because we have a composite number, therefore even if two numbers are being divided, we will do that. So we will use 2, we will get 1, we will get 2, and for 5 we will do nothing, we will just put 5 down. Now 1, it's a special number, so 1 we leave. 2 is a prime number, 5 is a prime number. Now what we will do is that whatever numbers we find here, we will just simply multiply all of them. Okay, so 3 into 2, so this 3, then this 2, 1 we don't need to multiply, but this 2 will come in, and then this 5 will come in. So it is 6 into 2, 12 into 5, 60. So 60 is the LCM, and LCM is basically the smallest number, which is a multiple of all the numbers that we are finding LCM of. As simple as that. So what is LCM? LCM is the smallest number which should be in the multiplication table of all the three numbers. 6 also, 12 also, 15 also. That is LCM. But there will be no number smaller than 60 which will be there in the table of or multiplication table of all the three. Okay? So for example, let's take a number 48. So 48 you will find in table of 6, you will find in the table of 12, but you will not find in the table of 15, right? So that's the concept. And because see, why we find least common multiple, why we find the highest common factor, why do we not find least common factor? Because least common factor is 1 for all the numbers, least common, so there is no need to find it. Similarly, and therefore we will only find the highest common factor, because there is no number greater than that number, right? But lower than that number, we can find many common factors for two numbers or more than two numbers. So for common factors of two or more numbers, we have to see that which is the highest factor. There can be many factors lower than that factor which are also common, but then we have to see which is the biggest number that divides number 1 also, number 2 also, and number 3 also, okay, and whatever numbers we are finding is, and which is why we find HCF, we don't find LCF, right? Similarly, when we find LCM, is the which is the smallest multiple, which is a multiple of 6 also, 12 also, 15 also, because after this, see, 620 will be the next number, which will again be divide completely divisible by all three. So you keep multiplying 60, okay, and you will continue to get larger and larger numbers which will be common multiples of all the three. So there is no significance or there is no end of the, and hence HCM, it will not make sense. Highest common multiple will be infinity for all the numbers. Similarly, lowest common factor for all the numbers will be 1, and which is why we don't find it, and therefore the concept is of HCF and the concept is of LCM. So I hope that this is clear, and then we will move forward and start applying it. So ये समझना बहुत ज़रूरी होता है. A lot of people don't understand. Okay, relation between HCF and LCM. So let's see it ourselves. Let's take two numbers. Let's take 4 and let's take 14 and let's take 18, two numbers. So their HCF, you can find it out yourself, but because I know, so the HCF is 2, okay, and LCM will be, okay, LCM will have to figure out, it will be 7 in, निकाल ही लिया जाए सादा, 7 and 9, right? So LCM will be 63 into 2. 126 is the LCM and 2 is the HCF. Now what I will ask you to do is multiply the HCF and the LCM. Okay? So 126 into 2 will give you 252. Also multiply both the numbers. See what happens. Let's multiply. Do you know table of 18? If you don't, then I think you should know. At least table up to 21 should know. So 18 4s are 72. 18 1s are 18 and then 7, 252. So basically that's the relation between LCM and HCF. Is that if you multiply LCM and HCF for two numbers, it will be equal to the product of two numbers. Why? Think about it. Think about it, why it happens like that. And I think it's a very simple, intuitive answer. Because when we find HCF, there is a factor that we find which is the highest factor, highest common factor, right? And then lowest common multiple is basically, so, okay, let me not give a lot of verbal answer on it. Let me give a little bit of a mathematical answer to it. So let me take a smaller number, okay, and because then explaining it will be easy. Let's take two numbers, 4 and 6. Let's find out their HCF. Their HCF is, how do we find out their HCF? 4 we can write as 2 into 2 prime factors. 6 we can write as 2 into 3. Right? So HCF is what? HCF is 2. Now using the same prime factorization, okay, what happens is that we also find out the LCM. ठीक है? How do we find out the LCM? Using prime factor method. Is what we do is that whatever are the separate or distinct prime factors or uncommon prime factors, we first multiply them. So what is the uncommon prime factor? Uncommon prime factor is 2. Then the second uncommon prime factor is 3. Okay. And then we write the common prime factor. So common is 2, 2. So we will write 2 only once because it is here also into 2. Right? This should give you the lowest common multiple because these two are uncommon, like different factors. So if the number has to be divided by both 4 and 6, these two need to be there in that number, and therefore 2 into 3 we have included. And then whatever is the common factor, like 2 is here and here, so we will put 2 also. See what it becomes. 2, it becomes 12. And when we multiply 12 into 2, it becomes 24. And when we multiply 6 into 4, it becomes 24. But we should look at it in this way, that LCM is basically 2 into 3 and then the common factor 2. So 1, 2 we have written here. And HCF basically, because it is the only common factor, okay, and 1 common factor we have written here, and hence when we multiply all of this together, it is nothing but the product of the both numbers. So mathematically then you see it's very simple that HCF into LCM is equal to product of both the numbers. So clear. Now we will basically talk about how to interpret a question. It is very simple. We will interpret it. So see, a lot of teachers, and I've seen methods, they tell you that, you know, if they ask for multiples, etc., understand that you have to find out LCM. If it is about asking for a highest number or something like that, then find out HCF. So do not go by those methods. Understand what the question is asking, and I have taken a few questions for example, and then we will go through the questions and then we will figure out our approach. So let's not like mug up our approach towards mathematics. It's a bad thing to do, because then there might be some tricky questions, and instead of finding the LCM, you will end up finding the HCF. So let's read this question. Okay, 2 tankers contain 850 liters and 680 liters of kerosene oil respectively. So there is one tanker, okay, it has 850 liters of kerosene. There is another tanker, smaller one obviously, it has 680 liters. Okay, now it says that find maximum capacity of a container. So then I need to have another container. What can be the maximum capacity of this container, which can measure the kerosene oil of both the tankers when used an exact number of times, which means like 4 times, 5 times, not 4.5 or 4.2. Okay, so in complete measurements of this tanker, I should be able to measure what is inside here and what is inside here, which means that this container needs to be a factor of this, because ultimately this has to divide this, and this container needs to be a factor of this. But this container, what is the maximum such size of this container, which means this container needs to be a HCF of both this and this. So that's how you should think. Okay, figure out what the HCF is. I'm not going to solve the question, but the concept is this. So identify the concept and jump to the next question. Okay, it's important to clear the concept. Now in a morning walk, 3 persons step off together. Okay, alright, so let's say that this is the starting line, and then there is 3 people, A, B, C. Now AB, their A's step is 80, B's step is 85, and C's step is 90. So what it is saying, that what is the minimum distance, let's say after walking for some distance, let's say from here to here, there is this distance is x. Okay, so after walking this x distance, this is the minimum distance they should all walk so that in complete number of steps they should be able to cover. So for example, he will take, so obviously if the same distance they have to cover and they have to take some steps. So understand, because A's step size is the smallest, so A will take maximum number of steps. So ultimately whatever this distance is, it is a multiple of 80. Let's say 1 step, 2 step, 5 step, 10 step, it could be 20 steps, I don't know. But whatever distance this is, it is going to be a multiple of 80. Similarly 85 will take slightly less number of steps, है ना? If 80 is taking whatever steps to reach the same distance, then 85 will take less number of steps. But again this distance will be a multiple of 85, and similarly 90 will take even lesser number of steps because larger step size. So for the same distance they will take less. So what we are seeing is basically what is the lowest distance, okay, for which 80 also takes some complete steps. It's not that after taking the 19th step and the distance is being covered in 19.5 steps, no. So it is to be covered either in 19 steps or 20 steps or 21 steps, which means it has to be a multiple of 80. Similarly for 85, 90. Therefore the question is what? Lowest common multiple. This distance will be the lowest common multiple of 80, 85 and 90. So find that. That will be the answer. That's how you should think about the problem. Yeah. Never ever mug the solutions, especially in these kind of problems. I have seen that kids, they learn the problems that, okay, when they are asking that if it is divisible by this much, then I have to find LCM, LCF. So understand, determine the smallest 3-digit number which is exactly divisible by 6, 8 and 12. So it says that determine the smallest 3-digit number. Generally what happens is that they will say that, okay, what is the smallest 3-digit number? 100. Then they will ask you to find either LCM. Then they will say divide this number, there is a remainder, add that, subtract that. Okay, do not go that route. First of all, what we will do is that we will find out which is the smallest number which is exactly divisible by 6, 8 and 12. Which means I have to find out the LCM, okay, of 6, 8 and 12. That will be the smallest number. That number is 24. So I have written it, you find out. Okay, it will come out to be 24. Okay, so 24 is the smallest number which 6, 8 and 12 divide completely. Now they are saying that you find out the smallest 3-digit number. Then the smallest 3-digit number is 100. Okay, so basically whatever this number is, it will always be a multiple of 24. Yeah, so 24 into 1 is 24. 24 into 2 is 48, into 3 is 72, into 4 is 96. This is the small, okay. Now after this you know that whatever you multiply, it is going to be a 3-digit number. So basically we are looking for the first 3-digit multiple of 24. As simple as that. That's the understanding. Yeah. So when you multiply 24 into 5, you will get 120, and 120 is the answer. But what these guys will do is that they will tell you to find out the LCM. Then using the LCM you divide the smallest 3-digit number, okay, and you will get a remainder. Remainder is 4. Then what you do is that subtract this remainder from the LCM itself, right, and then add that to the smallest 3-digit number, something like that. That's the method that most of the teachers will tell you. So when you subtract the remainder from 24, you will get 20. You add it, you will get 120. Basically what they are asking you to do is it is simple. You have basically found out the smallest 3-digit number and you have divided by LCM. Now by subtracting this here, you basically are reducing the divisor by the same amount, okay, by the same amount, and that number then you are adding to 100 so that it becomes completely divisible by 24. But the approach, the method is, because people start to mug up this approach, and that's not the right approach. So it is better to follow this approach, right? We basically are looking for, the smallest, or the first 3 digit multiple of 24, and it is okay to go 24 into 1 into 2 into 3 into 4. And then later, once you have understanding of this concept, then obviously you can follow this method. But the reason behind is this one. अब 96 है, right? It is the largest 2 digit number which is exactly divisible by 6, 8 and 12, right? And if that was the question, people would, then again the method would change, is that you take the smallest 3 digit, you divide by LCM, whatever you get, the remainder you subtract from 100, and you will get 96 because the remainder is 4. That is, but it's good to understand that, okay, these are all multiples of the LCM, and this is just back end play, right? Like the answer is here, we are just finding some shortcuts, etc., etc., to create a method of solution. So now some might argue that, okay boss, for this one is okay, what if then I am asked 5 digit number, okay, 6 digit number, then what I will do? So absolutely with you, but understand that why the method is like that, okay? So it is why I described both the things, is that in the first place you have to understand the reason behind it. When we 24, when we divided 100 by it gave me a remainder of 4, which means that if I subtract 4 from 100, I will get an exact multiple of 24, right? Which is 96. And to get the next multiple, because this is 24 fours and 96, to get the next multiple, basically what I am doing is that 24 minus 4, I am making it 20, and then I am adding it, to 100 only, right? Which is giving me 120. So basically what I am doing, I am this 96, whatever is here, I am adding 24 to this to get the next one, because I know that 96 is the largest 2 digit multiple of 24. But instead I have created a method where I am just asking students to mug up that, okay, you get remainder as 4, so you subtract 4 from 24 and then you add it back to the divisor. So understand why it is done. That's the logic. So obviously if it is asked that do it for the 8 digit number and things like that, but you should know that why. It is just a back-end settlement which we are doing here. It is just about finding the multiple of 24. That's all. So I hope it is clear. Now, okay, so similarly I have already discussed here. So 8, 10 and 12. So same question I just discussed, that find out the greatest 2 digit, okay? And here they are asking to determine the greatest 3 digit number exactly divisible by 8, 10 and 12. So first let's see what is the, I think what should be the, is 60, no, 120, yes. 8 1 8, 12, yeah, 120 is the LCM, right? LCM is 120. Now they are asking you find the greatest 3 digit number which is divisible by 8. So why create so much of fuss? So see, books will tell you that, okay, greatest 3 digit number, so you write the smallest 4 digit number, you divide by 120, okay? 120 into 8, it will give you 960. So basically 960 is the greatest 3 digit number which is exactly divisible. Then they will say, okay, this is the remainder, then you subtract remainder from. So basically your answer you've already found out here. That's what they're asking you to do. So yeah, it's obviously, I mean, if it were to be like determine the greatest 12 digit number, then multiplying so much is not possible. But here you can see is that into 2 into 3. So learn the concept. Then obviously the shortcuts and all you can follow, but the concept is this. Yeah, there are more questions. I thought that it is. Every time I think that I will make a shorter video, but then when I start explaining it, like goes on for some time. Observe a common property in the obtained is LCM the product of two numbers in each case. All right. Okay. So let me tell you where I am coming. Uh, See, basically it happens in case of co-prime numbers. And what are co-prime? Let's say 2 and 3. What will be the LCM? Because they are co-prime. So LCM will be 2 into 3. 6. 17 and 15. LCM will be 17 into 15. Okay. 15 15s are 225 and then you add 30 to it. So that becomes 2 5 5. Yeah. So that will be the LCM. And why it is so? Think about it. I told you about it in the previous this thing. I mean, just now we were talking about that there is a relationship between HCF into LCM, and that is equal to number 1 into number 2 of those numbers. So if it is a co-prime number n1 and n2, what is the HCF? HCF is going to be 1, and therefore LCM is going to be equal to n1 into n2, which is product of the numbers. So for co-prime numbers it is true. Now once again see that if there are two numbers, okay, and all these pairs I have put on purpose, you see that the larger number is nothing but a multiple of the smaller number, right? 18 is a multiple of 6, 48 is a multiple of 12, 45 is a multiple of. So in this case, whatever is the larger number, that will be your LCM, least common multiple. Why? Because 48 is a multiple of itself, we have studied, and then for 12 also it is a multiple. So the smallest multiple of 48 is 48, and then 48 is a multiple of 12. So therefore the least common multiple will also be 48. You don't even need to find out LCM. That's the concept. So yeah, I think that was on LCM and HCF, guys. And then there are multiple applications, but learn to understand the concept rather than just chasing the problems. And I hope that you enjoyed the video. And this is my email ID. If you really did enjoy the video, please write to me. If you have any feedback, you feel that I should cover more questions and all, then please comment and I will cover those questions. So thank you so much for stopping by and watching my video.